Welcome to the Champagne Way,
a podcast devoted to living every day like a celebration. Welcome to the Champagne Way, episode 31. So, what's in our cups this week, Lindsay?
All right, so I was at Kroger buying some baby food and happened to mosey down the wine champagne aisle.
As you do.
Yeah.
As we all do
I mean,
sometimes.
that's,
It happens.
So I'm going past like the wooden shelves that hold the nice expensive bottles.
Ooh.
I do like how they display it like that
I
nowadays.
do too. So I see something sparkle out of the corner of my eye, and of course I'm like, what? So it is a silver glitter sparkle bottle. My eyes go straight to it.
Of course. I mean, it's a beautiful bottle.
Yes, it is called One Hope. It's a brute from California. And what's great about this is actually some of the proceeds go to a foundation. This bottle funds healthy meals to help end hunger. And it says 1 in 5 children in the U.S. are unsure where their next meal is coming from.
So you're saying we're drinking for a cause?
Yes.
Like a good cause?
I love when that happens.
I know.
So do I.
It's great. So
We should buy like 20 more bottles.
We should. So the tasting profile is tropical aromas, green apple, luscious pear, and
Luscious.
refreshing bubbles.
This is a delicious bottle of champagne.
So yeah, it's a delicious bottle. It's a gorgeous glitter color, and it helps the cause.
Yeah.
I'm sold. So actually, how much was this bottle?
It's going to range you between $35-$40.
Oh, yep. I mean, I can taste the difference between this and the cheaper stuff. This is, it's smooth considering it's bubbly,
Right.
It's, you definitely get the green apple flavor, the pear flavor. I think it's delicious.
Yep.
So what we're saying is you don't need any juice for this bottle. Drink this one straight.
Not at all. I kind of feel like it's the perfect level of sweetness. If you don't like your champagnes too sweet, it's perfect. If you do like them a little sweet, it's still perfect because you get the fruity. Did I say fruity instead of fruity? The fruity flavors from it. It's kind of perfect. I love it.
Right.
And it is one of those bottles you can keep for a special occasion because it's just so pretty.
It is beautiful. This is a keepsake bottle.
And
That's
the
right.
bottle's like really nice, heavy. So if you drop it, then it's not going to break easily.
Do you have a story to tell?
I feel like this is personal experience.
My husband and I were leaving the house today to get in the Uber to come here to record, and it dropped, and I just knew it was going to shatter. Nope, it didn't. It just kind of like bounced and was like plopped onto the concrete, and an hour later we opened it and it spewed everywhere.
That it did. So I'm glad it didn't break. That's kind of amazing that it didn't break, especially on concrete.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it didn't because it's delicious.
Right. So we do drink lots of champagne. So this is just going to be a sometimes bottle since it's in the higher price range. But I definitely think this is a definitely get again bottle.
Definitely.
Definitely
This is
a lovely
also
bubbly.
Lovely
Yes.
bubbly. Absolutely.
Definitely lovely bubbly approved. I definitely think so.
And we will, we're going to post some pictures of it on our social media, Facebook and Instagram. Trust me, you're going to want to see how pretty this bottle is.
Yes.
It sparkles.
So if you don't follow us yet, go follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at The Champagne Way.
So, Lindsay, I was just scrolling through Facebook and Instagram the other day, and I saw that it seemed you were doing, how can I phrase this? You're doing a baby girl purge.
Yes, I'm selling my baby.
Okay.
I'll buy her.
Okay.
She's cute and adorable. I mean, come on now.
So I meant like a baby girl clothing purge.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that makes way more sense.
Yes.
Definitely more than a baby purge.
Yeah.
Which, with those purge movies, it leads you down a whole different dark path.
Well, I mean, that's what I was like, Lindsay, I know you love horror movies, so I was like, I don't know where we're going with this purge business.
Yeah.
No, I
then you
mean-
do sometimes call your baby a terrorist when she's teething.
That's true. That's true. This baby's so good. Wait till the next one. It could be an actual baby purge.
Oh, there
Okay.
you go.
Okay.
Well, so you're getting rid of like a lot of her clothing and bows. dare I
Yeah,
say?
they grow so fast, and so have really nice stuff. I have some stuff that has been handmade for her. I've had handmade bows to match. I've got the Matilda Jane, the wildflower, the mud pies. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, to keep it, to sell it. What are we going to do?
Right. So, I saw this, and this is making me think of, I don't know y'all if y'all have heard of her, but Marie Kondo.
Oh, I've definitely heard of her. I've even watched the first episode on Netflix, and I've seen the book, The Joy of Tidying Up or whatever, but I haven't ever read it because I've got enough joy. I don't feel like cleaning would make me feel more joyous.
Okay, right. So, in case y'all that are listening have not heard of this apparent phenomenon, Marie Kondo, her brand is like a lifestyle brand inspiring people to choose joy and complete their tidying adventures.
Which, I mean, I do kind of understand a little bit of it, especially since watching the first episode. There are a lot of people who hold on to so many things. And
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of stuff that I've carried with me as I've moved from house to house to house, that I've moved a lot of stuff that I don't see all the time. And so I can understand the whole sense of like decluttering to feel better. Because when my house is a mess, it gives me anxiety. When my house is clean, it's wonderful. My husband is even worse about that because like when we go on vacation, he's stressing to make sure it's clean so that when we come back from a vacation, we're relaxed. We're not stressed out because there's a mess.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So like I totally understand the method that she goes through. I think I'd have a lot of issue with getting rid of a lot of stuff.
Right.
So
I totally agree. I kind of, I think she's had some books out for a while, and I think just this Netflix show just came out a couple of months ago, and that's what's kind of reinvigorated her whole lifestyle brand and really introduced her to a whole new set of people.
yeah.
And I don't know for sure, but she's Japanese, and I think they might have smaller spaces to live.
I think depending, where you live at, that's definitely a thing. I think it's some of the cities is like, it's like New York. You're living in a very small like micro studio apartment.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so maybe the tidying up thing is really good for that. But I think I watched a clip of her Netflix show and read an article that was basically, I think it was like about you should only have a certain number of books.
I knew that's what would get you. I knew it.
Yes. Dear everyone listening, I have multiple bookshelves that are double stacked.
Do you know how many books you have?
No, I can tell you that the ratio of books that I own and the ratio of them that I've actually read is probably about 85% I haven't read and 15% I have. This is because I go to used bookstores and buy books that I think I'll be interested in and put them on my bookshelves, and I'm like, I'm going to read those books one day. And that gives me joy, which is the whole, I guess, part of her tidying up thing.
Does it give you joy to see them all the time?
Yes, it does.
It does?
I also have a ton of books. I have actually read probably 90% of mine before baby. I listen to books now because I don't have time to read. But so have you heard how she does the process of like purging?
I mean, I think she like, oh no.
I'll say, I know the
Okay,
process.
tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us, Trina.
So it's like, I think it's 5 steps. She has 5 categories, I believe.
Okay.
And so one of them, you're right, is books. I think most people start with the clothes, and that's where it automatically like stops them. So I actually watched a YouTube video on this the other day where someone talked about them like purging their stuff, and they tried to do it to their bedroom all in one day.
Oh no.
It took them more than one day.
I'm sure.
Long story short, there's no way any person could probably do this in one day, honestly.
Well, she says
But-
with clothes, you have to take every article of clothing that you own and put it all
Yes.
in one room.
Well, that's what on the video, that's pretty much what they ended up getting done in one day, was
Yeah.
because you take every piece of clothing from every like closet, drawer, under the bed, every laundry basket, everything, and you put it all on the center of the bed. It creates this gigantic mountain. I think that's honestly to make you realize how much stuff you have.
I'm sorry. Are you naked? During
you're
this?
wearing something, but
Okay.
like that's the only clothing in your house that should not be on the bed is what you're wearing.
Do you, Jess?
I mean, you could do that if you want to, sort in the nude. But you're supposed to then actually think about like, does it bring you joy? When's the last time you wore it? All of that, and then separate it into donation, keep, or discard piles. And now I do understand a little bit of that because even these people that were putting all their clothes in the pile in this video, first of all, they had to go in 2 turns because all of the woman's clothes filled up the entire bed.
Of course.
And so of course she was just like, we can't even fit my husband's yet. It took her forever to get through everything. And it was funny because her husband kind of made fun of her a little bit for it. Like, oh, so much sentimental attachment to some of these outfits. And then it was his turn. And his pile, I think, surprised him because it was almost as large as his wife's. Oh. And it was just as hard for him to get rid of certain things. And it was the most random things. He'd actually want to get rid of a shirt that she bought him for something that maybe she had more sentimental attachment to for him, and then want to keep something that she was just like, seriously, you're going to keep that hideous, horrible shirt that you never wear, and he'd have a reason to keep it. Like, so it was a very interesting lesson, I think, for the two, like in a couple, to understand what they each had sentimental attachment to. They did bring up a good point in this though, where since obviously this was a YouTube blogger or whatever, she posted the video, and one of the followers said, because she was attached to like a Letterman jacket from when she was in school, and she was like, I haven't worn this in years, but it brings me so much joy when I see it because it reminds me all the time of like these memories I have. And she goes, and I have the memories, but I can't get rid of the jacket. And so one of them said, take a picture of you in the jacket, keep the picture, you know, and start a pile of like, because if that's going to bring you just as much joy seeing yourself wearing the jacket and having these memories, then maybe keep that.
That's so interesting. And this kind of is a thing, like, so I have a bunch of sorority t-shirts from when we're in the sorority, and they are actually all in a box with the very clear intention of me creating a sorority quilt.
That's what I did.
Right. So if anyone knows of a quilt person.
We have a sorority sister who will do it.
Oh, okay, grand.
I say, and I know someone who has a friend who does it with band shirts, but she can do it with sorority shirts too. But
the process. So once you find, let's say it's a shirt.
Yeah.
Does the shirt bring you joy? Mm-hmm. Okay. So if it does bring you joy, like, why do you want to keep it? Okay. So let's say you don't want to keep it anymore. Mm-hmm. She says you have to thank the shirt for everything that it's brought you.
This is Marie Kondo.
And then put it in the discard pile.
So I think I thought that was super weird at first, but I think that kind of came down to for some of the people who had the sentimental attachment to it. Because I saw in the video this girl literally like holding shirts up to her face, almost like she was crying into the shirts. And then she'd thank it, have her moment, and then toss it in the discard pile. And so I think that's for people who have like an attachment to it. It's like, I remember this shirt and this outfit that's not special at all, but it was back when I was this size, and I was like, I have attachment to it because I remember it reminds me of my college days, or you know, those kind of things. So it's not necessarily like you're ever going to wear it again. You're never going to fit into it again, but you still have some sort of slight attachment. Like there's the maybe what ifs, you know, those are, I think, the ones that she's like, thank it for its time, pass it along to someone else.
There's only one outfit that I would need to thank.
What's that?
That is my hot pink trial suit.
You have a hot pink trial suit?
Is this like an Elle Woods?
Of course you do.
It is very Elle Woods, but no, it was my trial suit. Like if I had a really important hearing or trial, that's the outfit I would wear. Hot pink blazer, hot pink like little skirt. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I will never fit into it again, but it is really hard to let go.
Well, and that's where you're allowed to keep certain things, but they do like, it was funny because after like the one girl went through purging, after she got through the other 5 steps, she went back to some of her clothes. And I think after the shock of getting rid of so many things wore off, she got rid of a few more things.
Interesting.
It was kind of interesting to see someone else go through that and also see her and her spouse cry over things that you wouldn't expect them to cry over.
All right, this is fascinating. Maybe I'm going to have to stay tuned, but I'm really not sure about getting rid of any books.
I'm with you on that, because at first I was like, I probably would get rid of a lot of books. I'm with Lindsay. I listen to more books than I read nowadays, but I still have attachment to the ones that I own.
I do too.
I don't want to get rid of the ones I have, but I don't have time to read any new ones, so I listen to them. But that doesn't mean that I'd want to get rid of the old ones.
Yeah, I want to keep mine, and I have strategically placed them in my house as decorative, and like I'll like stack a couple, put a picture on it.
Yeah.
So now
they serve a different purpose.
they serve multiple purposes.
Right. And it's not like I've never gotten rid of books. I get rid of clothes and books every time I move.
Yeah.
But like the ones I have now, I'm,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's how I am with CDs and albums. I've got so many CDs and albums.
They
that's
still make those?
Yes, they do. And that I have that equivalent of your books, and I probably could like surpass you by like tenfold with how many like musical things that like Marshall and I own. I don't want to get rid of those things. I can't name. Well, I mean, I have a CD that plays in my car currently, but like, and I switch that out every once in a while, but not nearly enough to go through all of them in 1 year.
Right.
I could set that as a goal, but that'd be like, I honestly think I have enough that if I changed my CD every single day, I still wouldn't make it through the entire collection.
Wow.
So
like,
Jay and I just purged our entire DVD collection. We gave it away.
Wow.
Oh,
We don't
wow.
even have a DVD player. So
Oh
like,
my-
what do we,
oh my
we
God.
gave every one of them away.
yeah, I mean, I totally get it. Like, we have so many DVDs that honestly I don't want to get rid of because I still love those things. Like, I love the movies that we have, and they bring memories, but I can't think of the last time we watched a DVD.
I kept like I have the Sex and the City set, and then I have the Sex and the City wedding set. I kept that, and pretty much we got rid of everything else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trina brought over a Redbox movie to watch the other night, and I'm like, we don't have a DVD player.
Oh wait, that's the last time I watched a DVD then, or a Blu-ray. So I do every once in a while because of that, if I'll rent something. But yeah, I mean, I keep certain classics. Like I have like all of the what is it? I can't even remember. I have all the Harry Potter movies. I still think I have all the Lord of the Rings ones.
We did keep Crybaby, which, if you're not familiar, won an Academy Award for Best Movie Ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I actually even have tapes still. Like, I actually have a box of VHS tapes.
Okay.
Do I own a VCR? And does anyone else in the world know what a VCR is anymore? I don't know.
Unless those are home movies,
I might as well get rid of them.
you got a problem.
Yeah, I do have a problem because I definitely have a box of those. Well, granted, I forgot about them for a long time, and I put them apparently in my in-laws' attic. And then they were recently purging their attic of junk, and there were like 3 boxes that were like Trina's stuff. It might as well have said Trina's,
Yeah.
Said
And
trash it all. I
Yeah.
obviously don't need it. I haven't seen it in years. Get rid of it.
but I made the mistake of looking. So now, like, at least one of the boxes I wanted to keep, because it had, honestly, it had good stuff in it. I think it literally had my high school diploma in it.
Okay. Well, you might
Like,
want
there was
that.
important
You don't
things
need
that.
that.
Yeah, I mean, but I want to keep at some point. I don't know why, but
Well,
but I did. I also had a box of videos, and honestly, the only video that comes to mind in there, actually 2 videos that come to mind that I would want to keep, even though I can't watch them. There was a movie called McHale's Navy that I loved, and it's a random movie, but I loved it.
Nope, never heard of it.
And Tank Girl.
Oh, okay.
Like, and I don't want to get rid of those. I could probably, if I were really searched, like find them on DVD. But
I
like,
bet.
You could just, you don't, DVDs are becoming obsolete.
Bet you can YouTube it.
YouTube it or buy it on Apple.
maybe I should do that.
You
I don't
should.
know.
Well, this is so interesting because my parents just closed on their house today.
Oh,
wow.
So
awesome.
they're going to be moving out of my childhood home in like 90 days or less. And so I'm going to have to go up into their attic.
This is gonna be hard.
And so there's going to be all kinds of things up there. And so maybe I should apply the Marie Kondo method up there because there's going to be all kinds of childhood things that I'm going to be like, well, if I have a kid, is this something I'm
Yeah.
going to want? Or is this something that's going to bring them joy or bring me joy to give to them? So maybe I need to apply the Marie Kondo method there.
I think it's scary to apply that method, but it does happen over time. Like, I think I've slowly been getting rid of things from my childhood. Like, so in my case, my parents moved and we moved out of our house, our family house, when I was in high school still. And so I had to carry basically everything with me through college and through my 20s. I've just been slowly from place to place, been carrying boxes upon boxes of my childhood because I no longer had a family home. And because of that, like I've stored little bits and pieces of it at my sister's house, at my house, or maybe a little bit at my in-laws' house, or just along the way. I've also moved, and each time I moved, I purged a little bit more and a little bit more. I still have way too much stuff from my childhood, considering I've been carrying it around with me for like 20 years. But it's a process. It's also one of those things for me. I don't have a home to go back to. So a lot of people can preserve their bedroom at their parents' house.
Not me.
And it's interesting. I'm noticing more and more people that have parents that, you know, in their later 20s, 30s, they get rid of their house, and all of a sudden all of their childhood stuff is just like, hey, either you take it or it's going in the garbage.
I had one. Like my family didn't keep anything. But this is an issue I'm dealing with right now. So my daughter's about to be a year old. She's outgrowing stuff. Like, what do I keep? What do I not keep? So I have a lot of specialty outfits and bows made for her. So do I keep those for the next baby? Are we going to have a baby? Is it going to be a girl? Like how do I decide?
I feel like the truth of that is keep your absolute favorite outfits. Like the ones that if you could close your eyes and picture her in your favorite outfits, keep those.
There's 1,000.
But the rest of them, like, get rid of, because when you have that next child, you're going to want to go buy all the things.
New outfits.
You're going to have so much, because what brings you more joy? Dressing her, or going and getting the clothes and dressing them and picking them for her and her personality?
And if I have another little girl, they're going to have matching outfits.
And you're going to want her to have her own unique outfits as well.
Yeah. But I also want her to have like those, like the going home outfit, the, Saved by the Bell outfit.
Exactly.
Like, keep the stuff that you would put in a memory box that she might want whenever she has kids. But otherwise, the very, very important things, like the first birthday, the first holiday, the first day they come home from the hospital, those kind of things. But otherwise, I'd get rid of that stuff. My mother-in-law brought out a box one time of things that were like, she was so good about, like, Mother of the Year, like, saved everything from both her sons all through grade school, all, like, every year there were, like, the projects that they made and gave to her, like the Mother's Day cards, all of these things. She had more of an attachment to them than the kids did.
Yeah.
And so when, like, she gave some of that stuff to Marshall, I feel like part of him was just like, what do I do with this?
Because my family didn't keep anything. So my husband's family kept everything. His mom kept like a lot of the handmade ornaments and like the little pictures, and she puts like 14 trees up, and that's one of them, all the kids' stuff.
Yeah, see, that's so cute.
And then, like, when Rory was born, because it's her first grandchild, she had all these clothes from when they were little, and of course she had like all Christian Dior baby stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just so sweet that Rory got to wear some of her daddy's clothes. Like, and I don't have that.
See, I'm with you. I don't have that.
Yeah.
So I would want part of that for my future kids, but I don't, I wouldn't, there's got to be a healthy balance of, you don't keep every single little thing, because that's going to turn you into a hoarder, and it'll become their burden, and you don't want to leave them with that, because part of it's like, oh my God, what do you do with all this stuff that maybe nobody wants? But at the same time, it'd be great to have memorabilia. I don't have that, so I'm totally with you.
I'm with you. So, and I've had a couple people make some stuff. My grandmother is making stuff. She used to make stuff a lot more. She's, in her late 80s, about to be 90, so she can't do it that often. And then my mother-in-law makes a ton of stuff. She's still working on it because she just moved. She's got to get her house settled. But so that stuff I feel like I'm going to want to keep.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Keep some of that stuff for sure. I mean, and if anything, like some of that stuff, let her even play with it. Like, keep some of those outfits so that as she gets into toddler age, she can dress her baby dolls in those outfits.
Oh my God, that's a great idea.
Again, you don't need everything, but there's a lot of your favorites. You can hold on to them a little bit longer and get more use out of them without, like, wasting them.
Right. Good idea.
You just don't want to have to take out like 5 storage units.
Although, note from my other sister Nina, the only one that does have children, like, don't go getting rid of all the big stuff, like the furniture, the anything that could be repainted and repurposed, or like the swings and stuff like that, because even if you wait 5 years, if that stuff's still going to be useful, and you're never going to get that return value on that, and then you're going to have to go buy all of that stuff brand new.
Well, here's what's going on with me, and this is actually perfect timing. So my sister-in-law's pregnant. She's due in May.
Oh, yay.
And so she's getting everything from us.
Oh, so that kind of works out perfectly.
And she's keeping it for our next child if we decide to have
so
one.
You can just play the pass along game.
I've actually known other people who've done that, and it works out really well. So you can't guarantee that obviously nothing will break that it won't get ruined, but at least you can kind of get some use out of that stuff. And whether you choose to have another child or not, you still have it.
I mean, I think it's very helpful, and like our whole one side of our garage, we have a ton of stuff for her that she can use, and then we'll see.
Yeah.
So I think that's getting some great joy out of a whole bunch of stuff.
Joy Marie Kondo.
Joy Marie Kondo. We can hold that shiitake mushroom stuff and
hashtag joy.
Hashtag joy.
Although, I mean, I feel for you having to go through your childhood home. Like, how long have your parents lived in that house?
Look, y'all, my mom's going to listen to this podcast. Sorry, Mom. You're about to feel my pain right now. I talked to my mom on the phone a couple of days ago, and when she told me, she's like, we're closing on the house in a couple of days, and I literally slid to the floor and teared up while I was on the phone with her, even though I didn't let her know that I was feeling that pain. Yes, my parents bought that house in 85, 86. That's literally been the house I lived in until I moved into apartments with my fiance a year and a half ago. So that has been, well, I mean, look, I lived in Boston for 4 years, but that was still my home base.
Yeah, right. I mean, you lived in Murfreesboro for college and stuff. So, but
that's been my home. That was my home base. You know what I mean? That's my home base. So, I mean, and they're going to be out of there before May. So, I was kind of planning on another summer on the porch. That's
what I'm going to miss, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for them.
Can we just move their porch to my house?
Right.
Can we just have a going away party on the porch?
Yes, for sure.
All of that.
I'm so happy for them. They're going to get out of the crazy floodplain. They're going to get in a better house. I'm so happy for them. It's going to be great for them, but for sure there was some just childhood pain in there.
Yeah. I think this is the growing pains of life. Eventually everyone kind of has to face that thought process of, do I ever want to take over my parents' house and their and all of that, or the other option is it going to be sold, and will it be someone else's home one day,
right?
Or will it be bulldozed?
It's going to be bulldozed.
Yeah,
it's going to be bulldozed because it's in a floodplain. It's getting bought out. It's going to be bulldozed because it's in a I know what's going to happen to it. So that it's just painful. But I'm happy for them. It's just a painful thing that I'm as a millennial adult.
Yeah, it's painful.
It's painful.
I totally get that. I feel for you. Like I said, I've carted a lot of my childhood stuff around with me for years, so I slowly purged it. But and I still have millions of boxes full of that stuff. But it's going to be tough for you. So, watch the show. Maybe it'll help you.
Maybe I do. I didn't think I was Marie Kondo. Psh, you and your joy books. I love all my books. No,
don't think of it as if you're purging the stuff that you currently have.
Right.
Think of it as you're use those methods to purge the stuff that is literally sitting in your parents' storage or in their attic or in your old childhood bedroom. Because if you haven't lived with that stuff in years, do you still really need it? And there's probably some useful
So I think I do. Thankfully, when I moved in with my fiance, I basically moved everything out of my parents' house except for the stuff in the attic. So I think Marie Kondo is going to help me out with the attic stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Marie Kondo. I'm going to drink some champagne and Marie Kondo it.
I was going to say, you need to go probably through two bottles. Although I feel like you'll end up keeping a lot more stuff that way.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll help you so that we can just sit there and be like, no.
Yeah.
Sex in the City fashion show.
Yeah.
You know what?
We'll make a montage.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be champagne and American Girl stuff.
Yes.
That's
So
what it's
if
gonna
I
be.
drank 2 bottles of champagne and went through my closet, it would be bare. I'd be like, screw this, screw this, screw this. Any new stuff.
So maybe that's what it should be. It's going to be let's drink some champagne and Marie Kondo, my
husband's
parents'
shaking
attic.
his head.
There you
no.
go. Yeah.
Okay. That's what champagne way, drink champagne and Marie Kondo's Jess's parents' attic.
Yeah, done. And
Done.
I'm going to get like a little Simon Cowell like stick head figure that just says that's a no from me.
Trina and I'll sit on the back porch.
That's what we're going to do.
You bring everything from the attic into the porch.
You pile it onto the porch instead of your bed, and then we will just yes, no it.
the champagne way, forget Marie Kondo, the champagne way attic it. Addicts it.
Yeah.
Our new Netflix show is coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
That's what
We
we're
need a
gonna
new
do.
Netflix show. Come
That's
on,
what we're
guys.
gonna do.
Called Champagne with the Biatch.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
That's
Okay.
right.
Done.
Yep. Okay. So, y'all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rory's about to be a year old.
Oh, snap.
You should have
snap.
received her invitation in the mail.
I sure did.
I didn't see it. Marshall did, and he put it on the fridge.
I put it on the
No.
fridge.
This is like a big moment because he put it on the front of the fridge where he swore we would never put any magnets and like put anything at all in the front of the fridge. And now granted, I had already put all of our calendar magnets on the front of the fridge, but he slipped it underneath one of those and left it on the front. And
It is
I'm
his
like, holy
granddaughter.
crap. Like he actually left it there.
Oh, yeah, because you guys got a new fridge recently,
Yeah,
right?
and he was obsessed with not messing it up.
And it is his granddaughter.
oh, yeah.
This is granddaughter.
BT Dub, this is
hearing
my
that makes me sound so
this
old.
is my RSVP.
Yeah, this is mine too.
well, I
I'll be
already
there.
knew you were coming. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you know,
There will be like a champagne bar,
Rory's
right?
other grandfather
Right.
was murdered and the other one was in prison. Anyway, so Marshall should be there.
So Marshall should definitely be there. He's got to represent.
Yeah, Will and
Can
I
I
will be
give him
there.
a hat that says Grandpa?
Yes.
That's gonna happen.
Done.
I hope he edits this in like hears that because he will wear that.
So, Rory's 1 year, so the birthday party outfit came in today. It's adorbs.
Can't wait.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, it's over the top. And it came with a bow. I've had 2 bows made. I'm not sure what's going to happen there.
Duh.
So, you know, my husband and I have been talking. I mean, not like realistically, but should we have another kid or not? Right?
Right.
Right.
I mean, naturally. I mean, it's smart to think about when you have one already. Like how?
Yeah,
how do you
like
space them
how
out?
close do you want them together? How far? So I didn't want any kids. We've talked about this before on the podcast. Anyway, he talked me into it. He tricked me. Anyway, I was pregnant. And
Will is constantly ready to be like, "Are you ready for that kid?" So I feel you, girl.
If you want a family like mine, you're behind already.
right. So
I mean, those cats, you know.
No, I mean me and my sisters.
Oh, okay.
We're all like a year and a half apart. That means like by the time that each of us were like 6 to 8 months old, my mom was knocked up again.
Sorry, I thought you meant cats.
Oh God, no! Don't. Lindsay would die.
You know where my head is.
We can be cat ladies together forever.
Okay, fine.
So I didn't want any kids. Now I have one. Now I want 12. He's like, we're done. So I'm like, no. So one of my colleagues, of course, a lawyer would only come up with this. She's like, you cannot just have one child. You have to have an heir and a spare because you do not know if one of them is going to become addicted to drugs or be a deadbeat.
That is so true.
Right?
I mean, I know nobody wants to think of their child like that, but totally get it because you really just never know because there's so many outside influences.
Yeah, and you have to make sure you have at least one child that will take care of you when you're older.
Yeah. Unless you end up having 2 deadbeat children because that sometimes happens too.
So maybe you should have 3 children.
I mean,
like, what's the number?
I think 3 because I'm a third child and clearly the third child is the best.
So you're saying you might have a black sheep child?
Yeah.
Although I do think that as you have more children, your odds go up of having a deadbeat child.
Right.
Well, I don't want to say deadbeat child. It's a horrible thing. But I mean, it realistically is. Your
black
odds go
sheep
up of
child.
having the black
You
sheep
just
or.
shouldn't put all of your cards in the one child pile.
All your eggs
Yeah.
in one basket.
I do think 2 is like a really good number because then like, granted, again, I love the idea of 3 children because I'm a third child, but I also know that a lot of people always say then you create the middle child syndrome with your middle child. I think a lot of that has to do with like age difference, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So timing is everything, and then how you treat those children is everything.
Yeah, so I'm about to be 36, so we got to figure this out. So my husband says, nope, we're done. So my next baby's going to be born in October. That has
Are you
to
trying
happen.
to tell us
this
something?
year?
Because you
No,
definitely
no,
were
no, no.
drinking some champagne.
Whoa.
No, if we can see right now, she would be due. I say she because I'm not having boys.
Okay.
She would be due like November 7th, and I go early, so it would be October. However, I'm gonna wait another year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my husband says we're not, so I'm just gonna secretly take my birth control out and not tell him.
Yeah. Although he should
He's
be
in the
warned because the
room,
longer
so-
you wait, the likelier that you'll have twins or triplets.
I have already told him this is going to happen. So it's not going to be like, oh, you tricked your husband into having more babies. No, like I'm just telling you at one point, I'm going to take it out. You may or may not know. Take your chances.
Wait, is the longer you go, the more likely you're to have
The
more?
older you
The
are.
older you are. The older you are, the more likely you are to have multiple children. Also, if you've already
Why?
had a child,
Why?
you're more likely to have more
I don't
children.
know.
Why
Or
is that a
multiples.
thing?
Science.
It is science. They say it has to do with your eggs and like dispersing more all at once. It's like your body's like last ditch effort. But I feel like that's slightly off putting because they also say after 35 you're like a geriatric pregnant
Oh,
person.
yes. I had to go every 2 weeks.
Yeah, which I feel like nowadays, I mean, granted, I know it still comes down to your body and whatnot, but there's also people who have children into their 40s that have
I
no
was
issue.
considered a geriatric pregnancy. So, like I
It's
said,
okay. I will be too.
my sister-in-law is pregnant and she goes to my same doctor because my doctor's awesome. And like, she's like, oh, I'm about to have to start going every 2 weeks. So I'm like, I went every 2 weeks through the entire pregnancy. I had 84 ultrasounds and she's like, I've only had 3. And I'm like,
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, why? So at what age do you have to have?
35.
If you're going to conceive at 35 or after 35, you are considered
I
the
conceived
geriatric.
1 month before 34. And so she treated me like that.
Yeah, it's very,
supposedly,
very interesting.
Like there's this thing, especially when you get older and like I guess your membrane or whatever the baby's held in could just like fall out. So she's like, we just want to make sure the baby's not falling out. I'm like,
there's
that's a thing?
There's a lot that they don't tell you about when you're younger. Because, like, honestly, had I known some of this stuff, I probably would have been like, maybe I should consider this a little bit sooner. You know, there's so much to learn.
was completely scared. I told my doctor to tell me nothing. I don't want to know anything about pregnancy or birth. So I didn't get a whole lot of info when things happened to me because I had prefaced that with
my
like, don't tell
God.
me anything.
I watched my sister have a baby. I feel like I know everything.
Well, with the birthing, but like the pregnancy thing, like
Yeah, pregnancy. Actually, you taught me some very interesting things.
Yeah,
if everyone remembers our
girl.
episode titled 3 Nips, that was the whole thing.
Look and listen. I mean, the last time I went to the gynecologist in August, I was like, hello, I'm getting older. I'm engaged. I'm not ready to get pregnant right at this moment, but what should I know for the future? And he was like, you're fine, but just like go ahead and start taking some folic acid because you're on birth control, which like I didn't realize that you should go ahead if you've been on birth control for a long term.
but it depends on what birth control.
Right.
Yeah.
But
There's so much to consider with all
Because
of
the
that.
pills, they're like, oh yeah, it takes a while. But like I had the Mirena in,
I did
and she
not.
says you better be ready because in a week you could be pregnant.
what?
It's crazy. It just really depends on what you're on. It depends on what like your body wants to do because your body will like lead its own path.
They told you if you were on Mirena to be ready in like a week?
No, she said like if I take this out, there's no buffer. Like you need to be ready. Like be sure you're ready for me to take this puppy out.
Hello, everyone listening. Men, women, if just this is a birth control lesson.
I feel like all should know. Especially
Everybody
men.
should know.
Like, I don't think they all know what the women have
They
to go
probably
through.
don't know. Of course they don't know. They're
So-
just like, she's on birth control, whatever. No, know what your lady is on and be ready.
Because it could take a long time. It definitely could.
It could
you
happen
really
to
just
you.
don't know.
You don't know. Well, and that's what I've heard. I've heard some people, it took forever. But then I have plenty of friends who they're like, it happened in a month. And I'm like, what?
Oh, I know
So-
people who freaked out after they didn't get pregnant in like 3 months, and then all of a sudden they were like knocked up. And it's like some people
Heck no.
takes years.
Yeah.
You just never know.
You don't. So I took my birth control out in December, and I think we conceived in like July. So it took longer than, but that's just your body. And like, when are you having sexy time? Is it during your,
Oh yeah, there's a whole
I mean, it's just
mathematical
a lot of
equations to
crap.
that. It really is actually. There's a lot that goes into it scientifically. A lot of people just honestly, I think, get to not make a pun out of it. They get lucky.
Yeah, and then
She's so lucky.
how you do the dirty
She's a
can
star.
help with the gender.
Yeah.
So
All
like,
sorts of things to
Doggy
learn.
style is
Whoa.
more likely a boy.
What?
And missionary style is more likely a girl.
What?
Google it.
Where'd you hear this information?
I've heard rumors of that, but I didn't know that was actually
No, it
true.
is a thing.
Where'd
It
you
is a
hear
thing.
this information?
Google.
You're leading to. I feel like these are man-made stats so that you can actually like they can get their way to get like what they want more
Well,
often.
I will do missionary every time because we're only having girls.
Only
Where,
girls.
did you really hear this information
Yes.
somewhere?
Yeah, it's the way like your body's positioned. Like the little girl sperm or the little boy sperm has a better chance of reaching your egg depending on your position.
I feel like we're way far away from our Marie Kondo talk now.
Like,
Girl, we've moved on.
we
Yeah.
moved on from that into
If you-
a whole new world.
if you want to organize your closet, go back to the first part. If you want to have a little girl, be right here, right now.
In missionary style.
Be in the missionary style right now.
It
Wow.
actually helps if you want a baby to listen to our podcast during your sexy time.
That helps. That'll definitely help you probably not conceive. Or conceive.
You're probably gonna have triplets.
Or you're going to have triplets. I've always said that I was probably going to end up with triplets because in my family, there's always been like, my mom is the youngest of 3 girls, and she had 3 girls. My mom's mom is the youngest of 3 girls, and she had 3 girls. Now, she had 2 girls, a boy, and then a girl, but overall, she ended up with 3 girls. And I am the youngest of 3 girls, so I feel like somehow I'm destined to have 3 girls.
Pretty much, your mom and grandmother just like the boring missionary style.
Oh, maybe. But I feel like we're getting to that point where I'm at the age where if I'm only going to go through pregnancy once, I'm probably going to end up with 3 girls, all triplets. I feel like it's just, I'm glutton for punishment. And it's probably going to happen because I've joked about it so much that God's just going to be like, boom, now deal with it. Here's 3 babies crying all at the same time.
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Well,
Or I'm going to end up adopting like 3 children all at the same time. So...
so,
anyways, if you're having issues with that, good luck. Listen to our episode. Don't watch us. No, that one might not help your sexy time. But you can listen
I
to
don't know
us.
about that.
yeah, well, you can watch us on YouTube. I mean, it's not us. It's just like the graph. Anyway, just
We don't want to know what
whatever.
you do when you watch us on YouTube.
do what you gotta do. I mean, no
mean-
judgment here.
I mean, if you got to put on the YouTube thing, light some candles, like,
Maybe watch something else.
you do what you got to do. All right. You came here for organization. You came here for baby talk. And now you're here for movie talk.
Now you're here for movie talk. That's all right. It is Oscars time. Jess is our Oscars expert.
yeah,
I mean, kind of.
because I could care less.
All right.
Now, didn't you go last year to see all the movies? in
I
the theater?
did. And so we're not getting to do that this year because it's just not working out for us.
Are they doing it at the theater again?
They are doing it at the theater, but it's a little bit different because they are actually not showing in theaters one of the movies that's nominated for Best Picture, and that is Roma, which is on Netflix.
Never heard of it.
So AMC Theaters is not showing Roma because it's on Netflix. They like didn't want to show that movie because they're like, we're not showing this Netflix movie. So that's kind of a weird thing going on. So there's a whole bunch of like drama that's going on. So it's the 91st Oscars that is happening. That is showing on February 24th, that Sunday evening. So your Oscar party better be semi-planned. The Oscars this year are really strange. First of all, there's not going to be a host. And that is happening for only the second time in Oscar history.
No host at all.
No
Isn't that
host.
because every time they picked a host, they go like into their background and they're like, oh, this person like said something
Yeah.
sexually disturbing or
Well, so actor
20 years
and
ago.
comedian Kevin Hart won and lost the job in just 26 hours.
Which is super sad. He seems so nice.
Yeah. So, right. So Kevin Hart is like really funny, like has done lots of funny stuff, but he made some did some homophobic tweets in the past,
he's a comedian.
and they came up. Tweets last forever, and kind of like, they came kind of to the forefront when
Yeah.
he got this job, and people are like, yo, you made these tweets, and he refused to apologize for them. And people were like, okay, done. And the Academy was like, all right, bye.
Well, and actually, I don't think that he necessarily didn't apologize for them. He apologized multiple times, but he literally got to the point where he said, I'm not apologizing anymore because it's not enough.
Yeah. It's kind of like what it was. And actually, Ellen DeGeneres, he like did kind of apologize for him, and like but the Academy was still kind of like no, and like Ellen DeGeneres actually was kind of like, please like let him come back. Like Ellen DeGeneres
Yeah.
was like that, like please let him host again. And so they kind of like invited him back, but he was kind of like, no, I'm done.
Well, I watched him talk on her show about that, and I totally see what he was saying. Like, he's in a lose-lose situation.
Yes.
There is no winner once there's a section of the public that starts to attack you. There's no winner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And even with Ellen on his side, like, and he really did, he apologized multiple times, and he got to a point where he was just like, I can't apologize anymore, and I refuse to anymore. And I totally understand why, because it will never be enough for some people.
And I kind of feel like once you get Ellen DeGeneres on your side, like,
Yeah, like
you know what I mean? Like, you have Ellen on your side, and
She even got some like flack for that.
She did. And but like, he was just kind of like, I'm done with this. So the Academy tried to kind of like turn to some other people, and everybody was pretty much like, nope.
Dude, I'd be so afraid. Like,
Yeah.
I would probably think that I've never said anything wrong. But honestly, I think for everyone, there's that little thing in the back of your mind of like, have I screwed up? Did I say something wrong? What will come back to bite me? Like, I remember my dad saying when I was younger, he was like, if you're ever going to run for president, think about what you're going to do. Because what will come out of the woodwork to like, attack you. And it's not necessarily even just you, the people that surround you.
Yeah.
What's going to come back to like look bad upon you. Granted, now our political system, I don't think that's the same case, because obviously.
dear Oscar system,
Yeah.
you need host, preferably
Yeah.
3. The champagne way is available.
We would totally do it.
Our past are crystal clear.
We're clear.
We
clear.
have never done anything inappropriate or wrong or controversial.
No, we're clear.
Vote for us.
We're good. So they haven't, as of this recording on February 15th, there's no Oscar host.
None. That's so crazy.
Yeah. So this is,
Then
there's-
again, do they really need one?
right. So they're
true.
saying maybe this will be a shorter broadcast. The last time there was no Oscar host was 1989, and they opened with a musical number.
Okay, I like that.
So, and there were just kind of some actors and actresses would just go up and introduce their awards like they usually do anyway.
Yeah. I was going to say, there's always different people who are introducing the awards. So you just don't have that one main person that they keep coming back to. Like, I think it's okay. You don't need all those little breaks.
So we'll just see what happens. So, if you're kind of like ambivalent about the Oscars, maybe stay tuned for that. And then, so here's some controversy that was surrounding the Oscars that literally has just been rectified in the last hour since we were recording. They had announced that 4 categories would win their awards during the commercial breaks. So cinematography, film editing, live action shorts, and makeup and hair styling. They wanted to shorten the show, which last year ran almost 4 hours.
It was a long show.
Yeah.
That's a long show.
Now, 2 of those I understand. The latter 2.
Okay, but then you have to think makeup and hairstyling. Like Vice.
No, it's a great category, but they put all kinds of crap on there. I'm like, I don't even know what this is.
Well, honestly, they do it on all award shows, though.
Yeah.
Like the Grammys, they only actually air like, what is it, 30% of the actual awards, maybe, and the rest of them are all done in other private ceremonies that people. If you're not in the industry, you don't know that they had an entire other like show pre-Grammys where they gave out a bunch of the awards.
And the Academy kind of already does this anyway, but they kind of do like their sciences kind of thing before this.
Yeah.
But as Alfonso Cuarón, I'm not sure if I pronounced that totally correct, who his film Roma, which is nominated for like Best Picture, Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best, I think, Original Screenplay, Best Actress.
Yeah.
Which he also like Best Directed. He did everything for it. He said, in the history of cinema, masterpieces have existed without sound, without color, without a story, without actors, and without music. No one single film has ever existed without cinematography and without editing. And so he was like, you might take, as Lindsay said, you might take out, the live action shorts and makeup and hairstyling, but to not award at least the cinematography and film editing on air, that's really wrong.
I get that. And again, going back to like, because I watch more of the music award shows, but like doing the best overall album of the year, the best new artist, no matter what genre, most of the ones that they do in those subcategories off screen, like off of the award show, are based on genre specific. So best country album of the year, best country duo of the year, best urban duo of the year, best rock. When's the last time they've done anything rock on the Grammys?
Right.
That doesn't mean those people aren't winning awards. They're just not winning them to the public, which I get that takes away a little bit of the joy for the person getting it, but doesn't really. Like, you're still winning an award for doing a good job.
Yeah, the last time I won a Grammy, it was not aired.
Oh, it wasn't?
I mean, right?
It wasn't. Well, so that they were going to take those 4 categories out, and not, they weren't going to win them on air. They were going to show their speeches later on in the broadcast.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how that was going to cut down on the time. It was just going to basically take away their walk to the stage, I guess. Anyway, so lots of people came out against that, like Alfonso Cuarón came out against that, Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan.
I get it a little bit because it probably also means that they lose seats at the actual award show. If there's limited seating award shows, like the ticket to get into them and the guest list to get into those things is very, very strict depending on the venue. Then you only have so much seating, especially exclusive seating. So if your category gets cut and that's the only thing you're a part of, you're also missing out on the opportunity to probably actually get to attend the award show regardless.
Oh, no. They were going to attend the award show. They were just not going to show their thing during the airing. They were going to do it during the commercials. They were going to award it during the commercials.
Oh, I mean, I guess that's different too.
They were literally just going to award it during the commercials and not during the actual like airing of the broadcast.
That is kind of crappy.
So like it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so they had lots of pushback from people, and so like just in the last hour, they're like, never mind. The Academy is like, oh, we heard all this pushback from people. We're going to add it back into the actual broadcast that the public is going to see.
Well, it probably draws attention back to those categories now, though, so people will actually pay attention to the entire 4-hour show.
Yeah. Right. So the Oscars are just all over the place this year, I feel like.
Yeah, hopefully it's a growing year for them and they'll figure their stuff out by next year.
I
and
guess.
maybe be nice and invite Kevin Hart back.
So just in case you're just interested in the Oscars, I'll just run down really quickly the best nominated pictures.
Yes, please.
They are Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are Black Klansman.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen that. I don't even know about that one.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes, watched that recently and it was amazing.
The Favorite, which was really funny.
Okay.
Haven't seen that one yet.
Green Book.
Nope.
Haven't seen that one, but the previews looked amazing and I kind of want to see it.
Okay.
Roma.
Haven't seen it.
A Star is Born.
Haven't seen that one yet either.
And Vice.
Okay.
And then there is an article that we can post, and it lets you know just where everything is available that you can see. And we'll actually post it before this episode drops so that you can see things before Oscar weekend. It just says where things are streaming and where things are available so that you can see things before Oscar weekend.
So I think the only one I've seen out of these movies is Black Panther. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a top runner since I've seen it. And then the other one is probably A Star is Born because it has Lady Gaga in it and she is like my spirit animal.
Oh, is she?
I haven't seen that one yet, but I did see Black Panther and that was amazing. Mm-hmm. And I did see Bohemian Rhapsody only a couple weeks ago and it was so good.
So Rami Malek is actually the front runner to win Best Actor right now.
What's he in?
So good.
He is in Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay. He plays Freddie Mercury.
He did such a good job, I feel like, in that character. Like, I was impressed. I definitely was impressed. I mean, I know they changed the storyline a little bit to make it more intriguing, obviously, to an audience, but you know, I still feel like it was a really good, interesting storyline and a really good movie made about that band. So
yeah. Well, exciting. So
yeah,
Oscars are coming up.
And we're going to also share, we'll share some last minute, when this episode drops, some last minute fun Oscar tips and stuff like that for you to host the ultimate Oscar party.
Yeah.
So what are you making for the ultimate Oscar party, Jess?
I found a champagne chantilly cream that you can serve by itself. You can serve it in a pastry. You can serve it on top of a cookie. You can serve it with like ice cream. You can serve it however. And so that is my Oscar dessert. You can serve it with chocolate. It's just like you can serve it however you want. It's like the best. You can serve it with berries. It's like the ultimate like Oscar like champagne, scoop it on top of anything you want.
So are you going to bring that to my Oscar party?
For sure.
Okay.
That
and
sounds
obviously
delicious.
lots of champagne.
Yeah. You know the Oscars is the second most thing watched every year?
Really?
What's the first?
I assume it's The Bachelor.
Of course you do.
I'd probably say the Super Bowl,
My husband says
but
it's the Super
I'll let you
Bowl.
believe it's The
But I'm
Bachelor.
going to guess
Super
it's
Bowl.
The Bachelor.
Maybe the finale.
Exactly.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting little factoid. Mm-hmm. All right, so what are we drinking about to this week?
Oh my God. Okay. So I am drinking to my husband.
Aww.
So I may have like said how sometimes he may not be the best gift giver in the past, but this year, oh my God, he got me an Aurora, which is our daughter, inspired ring, and it is this gorgeous pink stone surrounded by diamonds, and I mean, you guys, it just sparkles and it glistens, and it's so gorgeous
It's so beautiful.
that Orlando Bloom stole our design and proposed to Katy Perry.
No.
Yes.
No way.
I mean, he gave this to me on the 13th late, and and Orlando Bloom proposed on the 15th.
That be?
Coincidence? I think not. So, yeah. So, in case you don't know, so Aurora, our daughter, is obviously Sleeping Beauty. So, it's a gorgeous pink ring.
Yeah.
And, you can look at it on my personal Instagram or Facebook.
It is beautiful. He did a fantastic job on that.
I know.
That's
So good.
gift redemption all the way. 100%.
Yeah. All right. What are y'all drinking about?
I'm drinking about the fact that my car broke down yesterday.
No, what?
I had like the worst luck. Well, I mean, I won't say. I had the best luck on Valentine's Day and the worst luck on Valentine's Day. The best luck being all of the things, like it was a wonderful day. My husband showed up at my work. We went out to lunch. He brought me some candies and he brought me some tulips, and it was amazing. And he brought me a card that had multiple cards in it. I needed to like share it on our Instagram because it was so good, because literally like the front of it was just like, you're so wonderful, like I couldn't find a card good for you, so I didn't get you any, or like so I didn't. And then you open it up because clearly it's a card, and it actually had like 6 mini pop-up cards inside the card. It was the greatest thing ever. Like my favorite card of all time. And then he got me like a gift certificate to get a massage, and he got me a gift certificate to go buy these aromatherapy things that I love from like Bed Bath & Beyond. Nice. And he even like looked it up and saw that they had come out with a whole new line. So he was like, here you go, you love this. So he did great. He did fantastic. And then he got me tickets to go see the Preds.
Yes.
So he got this from work. And then they immediately lost them. So, like, I'm not kidding you. Like, they lost the tickets. As we're, like, he knows I'm getting ready to go. I've got a friend lined up. We're going to the game. And they lost them. And then he's, like, messaging me, like, oh, well, hey, so-and-so forgot to bring them down to the arena. So someone else is going to bring them down. Oh, that person forgot. So someone else is supposed to bring them down.
Oh, no.
Hey, they can't find them anymore. And then all of a sudden it was just like, hey, so we got it arranged. You're getting tickets. They're going to bring them down there. We'll leave them for you, or I'll run them out to you. And I was like, okay. He's like, I think they're a slight upgrade, actually. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, cool. They ended up being next to the station owner in section 501, which is the section where you get free food and free alcohol the entire time through the game. So this whole mishap like ended up being like the greatest thing ever, because we had amazing seats. And as soon as we walked up there, they were serving champagne at the bar with like raspberries, fresh raspberries in it, and handing it out to every woman who walked into that section. They had like an appetizer station. They had a whole hot bar. It was amazing.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
I'm so glad Marshall didn't just buy our tickets.
Yeah. It makes up for that, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the bad part where I was dropping my friend back off at home, and I'm on my way home, and like, oh, look, my battery light just popped up, but my car's still driving. Like, it's not a problem. Like, oh God, why is my battery light on? And then I drive a couple more miles, and like my ABS light pops on. Then the little one that I don't know what it means, but it's definitely a car with squiggly lines that pops up when the rain falls down a lot. And I was like, oh God, I think my like
your squiggly light.
All of those, I think that has something to do with my brakes. And all of that is not working apparently. And so I'm like, oh God, no. Then I'm driving a little bit further, and I was listening to audiobook at the time, and that cuts out, and I look at my stereo, and that no longer has lights in it. Then the whole stereo light comes off altogether. Then I noticed that everything on the road's a little darker, and my headlights have turned off. I'm still driving, guys.
No.
And everything inside the car is slowly shutting down.
How close to home are you?
Like at the time that this happened, I was getting off on the Harding exit of 65.
No.
I still had at least about 6 miles to get home. Multiple streets where I'm clearly going to get pulled over because I'm that a-hole who has no headlights on, and I flash at those people, okay? So I'm being flashed the whole way home. People are flashing their lights at me like, hey, dummy who's drunk on Valentine's Day, turn your headlights on. And I'm like in the car screaming like, I'm trying. I can't. I couldn't even turn on my blinker because I hit my blinker at one point in time, and all of a sudden my dash lights, like where the speedometer and everything, started flickering.
But you can still drive?
I'm still driving at this point. It's starting to get weirder and not work, and I can feel like pressure differences. But yeah, no, I made it all the way home somehow, but I got into the driveway and it immediately went. So I'm super lucky, and also I have the worst luck, because now I have no car right now.
So what's wrong with it?
I think it's the alternator. Or, well, Marshall thinks it's the alternator, and I'm repeating him because I have no idea. It wasn't the battery, obviously, because if a battery had gone out, it would have just killed the car.
Yeah.
Instantly. So I made it home by the grace of my battery. and because the whole car was trying to function off of the battery running. So, hey, folks, if your alternator goes out, this is what will happen. If you're in driving mode, you're definitely going to see your car slowly shut off. All of the electronics in the car, as you're still driving, will slowly shut down. So the entire drive, my heart's racing, and I'm like sitting there thinking, I'm going to break down. And so all I'm thinking is like, what's the best route to go? So that if I break down, am I going to be that a-hole stuck in the lane blocking everybody? Am I going to hit by another car? Like, all of that was running through my head. And all I kept thinking was like, can I make it home? But I made it home. Hopefully he can fix it this weekend. Yeah. And all that. But that was my Valentine's Day. Yay! And Valentine's Day. Blah.
Oh, no.
Yes. Well, hopefully you can. Jess, what are you drinking about?
I'm drinking about student loans. Which I have
Ditto.
a lot from grad school. And none from undergrad, but a lot from grad school. And my lovely fiance, jokingly, I believe, sent me an article from Google that was just like, he was like, haha, look what Google like recommended to me. And it was just like, should I marry someone who like has a lot of student loans or like something like that? This is at work randomly the other day.
Mean Google. Mean Google.
God, Google.
And I'm like, I've been very, very busy at work lately. It feels like it's marketing agency party of two lately. Like that's, I mean, like I'm the copywriter, but I felt like I've been also like the account executive. Like I've been dealing directly with clients lately. So I've been very, very busy. And I was like, haha. And I was like, what did the article say? Like, and he sent it to me and I read it and I was like, oh, like it's a very sensible article. Like, oh, you should like talk to them about their student loans and blah, blah, blah. And it made me basically pull up my student loans at work. And I pulled
Did you cry a little?
Oh, I cried at work.
Student loans always make me cry.
When I looked at them, I cried at work. And when I looked at them, and then I went home. And I mean, I basically shared on Facebook like my sad, basically update. And he's like, oh, did you have like a rough afternoon at work? Like as soon as I walked in at home. And I was like, well, basically it started when you shared that article about student loans. And then I looked at my student loans and he was like, oh, and then I basically burst into tears and was like, maybe you shouldn't marry me.
Oh no. Those are the worst moments. It's like,
I know.
Right, because like I do have a hefty amount of student loans from grad school, and that pretty much accrue interest daily, and so I kind of cried, and he was like, no, we'll figure it out together, but I was still just kind of like upset and basically just looking at your student loans in the middle of a very busy work week is not a mentally healthy thing.
Yeah.
So the good news is he apologized and was like, that's not what I meant. He was like, of course I'm going to marry you and we're going to figure it out together. And then we had a nice Valentine's Day at the Frist Art Center with lots of champagne.
Yes.
Looking at a really cool art exhibit, and it was fine. But then he was like, of course, I saw Lindsay's beautiful ring, and I showed it to him, and he was like, yeah, all of your like presents for the next 10 years are going to be student loan payments.
And
I was like, that's not as romantic.
Definitely
now,
not.
we have been married for 6 years. It's been a while. It's not, it takes a while. You can't get those every holiday.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be something to grow on each year.
I understand that. And I'm not expecting like jewelry or anything for like presents.
Just him saying that.
But so anyway, student loans are depressing everyone and definitely something to drink about.
That's right.
So I know you went to the Frist. Was it a sextem party?
No.
Yeah, was it? Oh, okay.
But let me tell you, I saw an S&M picture on the Frist wall.
Oh, wow.
Of Aristotle.
Wow.
Cool.
That's very interesting.
So I just want to let everyone know that.
Yeah. So she has dirty dreams about Aristotle now. That's what I think she's trying to tell us.
Yeah, she does. Well,
All right.
drink about it's every week. If you have a drink about it, whether good or bad, we want to know. You can submit on our website, www.thechampagneway.com, our Instagram, or Facebook.
DM us. That's right.
Yeah.
We want to know what you're drinking about every week.
Yep.
And submit those champagne shout outs too.
Do it.
All right. What we may or may not talk about on the next episode of The Champagne Way. Did we all survive inebriated Shakespeare? Follow our Instagram story to find out, because we are going to be documenting that, and you should definitely follow along. Also, will all of our student loan be miraculously wiped obsolete by some wealthy person who falls in love with our show and just wants to give us a really happy drink about it moment?
Yeah.
Please.
Will Lindsay be pregnant by the end of this night? And will she have a baby in October? Who knows? I don't think that's possible right now, is it?
Yes. If I went early as I went with Rory.
So there you go. What we may or may not talk about on the next episode. Stay tuned.